Hello, guys. Welcome.
Hey.
We're back. It's been a while, so I'm going to go ahead and just apologize. It's been a month. We both have been very busy in our lives, things going on between work and stuff. Amaya, have you been? How have you been?
I've been pretty good, just living life, trying to get things done and family stuff. Just something is always happening.
I agree. I've been on the road a lot, traveling, which is why we haven't posted in a
Mhm.
while. But that's been like a main focus. I do have a shout out right quick for my anniversary. It's been 6 years since I've been at my
Ah,
company.
congratulations.
Thank you. I won't say the name of my company because I don't need no stalkers trying to get me like fired or anything. But
They gotta show up at your job.
yo, or just sitting in like random, like, did you know this person had this podcast saying these like sketchy things or their
Oh
point of
Lord.
views? But anyway, 6 years since I've been at my company, but I've been in IT for like I want to say at least 15 years. So it's been a long time.
So how old does that make you?
Amaya, don't fuck with
I'm
me.
joking. I'm
Don't
joking.
don't fuck with me. You're gonna end up getting me. Anywho, so yeah, so we got a great podcast for you today. We I've come up with some ideas, and the topic today is passion, and we all
Yes.
are passionate about something. So I think that's a great topic for us to just kind of riff off of and talk
hmm
about. So basically, I'm just going to jump right into it. When it comes to passion, I think the first thing we want to talk about is like passion can apply to different things: your job, love,
Yes.
hobbies, all of those things. So we're just going to start
hmm
off like with like Amaya. What are some of your passions that you have in life in general?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would say my biggest passion is reading because that's been like the consistent thing throughout my life. Well, not the whole life, but since
Mm.
middle school, I have been very passionate about reading. Before that, I hated reading actually. Like I could not get it. It took me a very long time to learn how to read, and once I did actually learn the basics and how to do it, I was like, God, this is terrible. And my mom would always make us read books when we came home from school. Like, I just went to school for 7 hours. I don't want to come home and read. But that didn't actually help me. It wasn't until we started reading books that like I actually liked. One of the first ones was this book called Anna's Story by I think it was George Bush's daughter, if I'm not mistaken. It was a crazy story. Probably was not the right content for a 11-year-old child, but it did get me interested. And then after that, it was talking about like HIV
Oh
and
my
like
god.
sex and stuff, and it was crazy. And I think my mom did that as a scare tactic to make us not want to have sex. It kind of worked. Um, and so that content was like, whoa, this is crazy. This can be in a book. And then after that, I found Twilight and it just kind of went downhill from there.
Oh
And now
my
I
god.
own over like 2,000 books, I'd say. So
Oh
that was
wow.
that is a really big passion. I also have a passion for sign language. I just ever since I was a little kid, I've just kind of been mesmerized by it. And then when I was trying to figure out what to do when I was in like high school to college transition, I was like, I liked that whole sign language thing. Let me try it again and become an interpreter. And that's what I did.
Oh wow. Well, I mean, at
Yeah.
least you followed it through, and your passion is reading, and you went into sign language.
hmm
My
Yeah.
passion, I would say, has always been computers ever since like a young
hmm
age. My okay, so short story. It's not gonna be long. My mom and dad, when I was young, they bought a computer. It was a gateway, so that's gonna show part
hmm
of my age. Um,
I
they
don't even
bought.
know what that is. Is that
Oh
dial up?
my bitch! Don't you say dial up? No fucking dial up. No, excuse me. I don't mean to call you a bitch. It's in a good way. So it's a computer like Dell, like
hmm
Lenovo. It was a computer brand, and they still exist, I
Okay.
think, in some form. Anyway,
Never heard of it.
just stop. Just stop saying you never heard of things because you're really. Anyway, so
Amazing you.
they bought a Dell computer. I'm Jesus, a gateway, and I
hmm
was like, oh my god, it's so weird. Like you could press a button and it would show up on the screen, and I was like, how does this work? This doesn't make any
Yeah.
sense. So one night while everybody was asleep, and I don't think I've ever told anybody this, I opened up the desktop, and I started
Hmm.
touching the components with my bare
Oh God.
hands, and I fried their motherboard. And then I think my mom and them had to get a new desktop. I think it was under warranty still.
Oh my God.
So I was like, okay, we got a new computer, and I was like, instead of me opening it up and touching things, let me just get on the internet and research how it works. And then that's how I got obsessed with computers and just the whole everything. And that's like what I was passionate about. I was also passionate about writing in high school. I wrote a
Yes,
lot.
that's
You've read
good.
one of my short stories,
Yeah, I
so
did.
uh,
Very
I'm not
graphic.
okay. First of all, I by no means I'm not a professional writer. I didn't go to school for
Hmm.
writing other than the English classes I took in high
Yep.
school and college. But so there will always be
It's
grammatical
okay. I was
errors
like,
in my work.
if you ever read one of my short stories, you'd be like, what the fuck?
So writing was a passion of mine, and
Hmm.
passions die out. I think that's
Yeah.
normal. Like you evolve, you change as a person,
Hmm.
and then you just kind of switch from one thing to the next, or it's your love for that passion falls
Hmm.
out. So
Yeah.
it just leads us into like, so everyone has a passion. We all believe or feel strongly about something.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of what keeps people going. Like, I feel like if you don't have a passion, some sort of fire, something to keep you going, what is the point of life? You're just going through the motions. I think you have to have something that you love to do, um, and that will help you kind of navigate your life. Hopefully, it's something good, it's like the North Star, but something bad like drugs that might not be as
Yeah,
good for you.
true. I mean, I don't judge, but I hope people aren't using those things as passions. If they are,
Yeah.
I don't judge, like I said. So that'll lead us into like the other topic about passion, which is like your career. You have a degree. I have 2 degrees. Numbers don't matter.
Okay.
But
Okay.
but
Let's
with your
count them up.
okay, with your degrees, what do you feel like in general? Like, do you feel like you still have that passion with your degree? Would you recommend someone take a passion and turn it into a career?
I think it depends. Like you have to work so long and hard for it. Like with sign language, I just loved the language and I loved learning that language, if that makes sense. Like it just kind of came to me. It was like a second nature. It kind of felt like breathing at sometimes. But then when you get into the whole technical side of interpreting, I mean, I love working with the deaf community and getting to use that language, but I think I'm naturally an introverted person. And so having to go out every single day and pretend to be extroverted and be able to talk to people naturally with no anxiety, that was not very easy for me to do. And I should have thought about that when I was like, oh, I'm going to be an interpreter, but I didn't put as much focus on it because I was like, once I know I can do it, I'll just do it. And that is how
Mm-hmm.
it happened. Like, before I moved to Germany, I had quite a few assignments, but it was like the passion wasn't there anymore. It was like I would start interpreting and it was like a black screen went over my mind and I have no idea. I was just doing it. And people were like, oh my God, you're doing so good. And I'm like, I was not here. I was outside of my body and I was just kind of like going through the motions because I have such bad anxiety that I'm like shutting down.
Mm.
So in that case, I feel like maybe I shouldn't have turned my passion into a career. But then on the other hand, I'm like, I'm only 25 and I still have many, many years to go. I'm in a new country now. Can't use that passion anymore. And
Yeah.
so I have to turn to something else and I have to find something else that I love to do that will make me a little bit happy at the very least. No, I don't want to hate my future job. And hopefully that will become a new passion. I was like maybe writing throughout my whole childhood, but I don't feel like I'm old enough to be a writer. So I think that's maybe in my 40s and 50s.
I mean, you could definitely start writing, get some ideas out
Yeah,
there.
but I do not ever want to become published until I'm much older. I don't think
Oh.
I could face
Well,
the
then just write a bunch
criticism.
of stories and then publish them all when you hit 40, and you'll have like 5 books
Yeah.
out there.
Yeah, when it doesn't hurt, all the people saying negative things to you.
Let me think. My passion, what I said was computers. I do have
Yeah.
I do IT right
With
now.
yeah.
Um, I want to say it's a love hate relationship from my experience, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like I love what I do sometimes, and then sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I don't want to do this today. And
Yeah.
sometimes because I interact with clients and customers and fixing problems, that that forward facing job where you have to interact with people, you have to
Mm-hmm.
deal with different personalities. People are upset, some people are nice. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. I don't regret getting my degree in IT, and I don't regret getting my other degree either. I just feel like after doing it for so long, for more than 15 years, I think I am getting to a point where I'm getting burnt out.
Mm-hmm.
And the I mean, I'm nowhere near close to retirement, how no matter how old you might make me seem. I'm not close to retirement by any means. So I
Yeah.
have to look at it and I have to say, okay, where can I go from now? How can I elevate my passion or like alter
Mm-hmm.
it and implement other passions into it? And
Yeah.
I thought about going and starting my own business, my own
Mm-hmm.
IT network consulting business.
Yeah.
And I started up a plan and I started doing it. And then like I was like, oh, I'm excited about this. I had my business plan and I had like my little
Mm-hmm.
PowerPoint and I did a little presentation for like my family and friends.
Yeah.
And then I saw the work that I would have to put into it,
Yeah. It's a
starting
lot.
your own business. And it's not that I didn't have the ambition. It was just like, wow, I need to think about whether this will burn out that passion for that
Yeah.
particular thing even
You're
more by
burning the
going,
candle on two
yeah.
ends and you'll be left with nothing.
So, I mean, I would say if you truly are passionate about something and you have to always look at ways to reinvent
Yeah.
or elevate the passion you have for whatever you're going into. Because if you think, oh, I'm gonna be a network analyst, and then you go into be a network analyst, and you do it for like 5 or 6 years, you have to look for growth within that field. Like, where do I want to go from
Mm-hmm.
here? But if you're one of those people, because there are people who love routine, there are people who's like,
Yeah.
I don't mind doing this for the rest of my life. It's the exact same thing. I'm good at it. I'm fine. Those people are, then kudos to you. Then you just have that baseline where your passion just stays there. But for me, I think I'm looking into ways to elevate my passion in IT
Mm-hmm.
and computers. So, and don't say AI because I hate when people start talking about AI
Oh,
because AI is it's one of those media things where they just jump on this train and everyone's like AI this, AI this. I'm like, listen, it's not true AI. True AI, if you want to talk about true artificial intelligence, and I'm not going to go
mm-hmm.
weird out on go nerd, but I'm just going to say true artificial intelligence and what you see in the movies and like robots controlling things and having a mind of their own,
Mm-hmm.
we are very far away from that. I don't
Right.
like calling it AI. I like calling because it's not a consciousness. Even if you see like, oh, it could take a photo and make it look better, or it could create this video, all that is just a program taking
Mm-hmm.
algorithms and codes and pulling information from a database and saying, let me create this image or this video
Yeah.
from all of this information that's already known. It's not like it's saying, hey,
Not coming up with its own
yeah,
thoughts and ideas.
true.
I
It's
mean,
pulling references.
yeah, I'm like an old lady in that regard though, because I don't even touch it. Like Chat GPT, never opened it. I've heard about it, but I'm not gonna touch it. It's gonna be a long time before I start participating in that.
It'll be a long time
And
before AI becomes a
I
problem.
mean, I was like, for me, I'm always on the back end of technology and doing those kind of things. So I'm gonna give it to you on that one. I'm still
Okay.
like, this is how I
You are
type. It's
not
not really.
typing. You're
I don't
not.
type like that actually. I had to take a typing class, but I am very delayed on different technology things. I know I'm like people are like, "Oh, do you have this new app? Do you know how to do this and editing?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure."
Funny that you talk about that because I'm so passionate about IT. But like, I was sitting at
Mm-hmm.
my goddaughter's house this weekend, yesterday, and I was texting, and she was like, "Why is your phone not in dark mode?" And I was like, "Dark mode," and she was like,
You
"It's
don't know
so
what that
much
is?
better." And I was just like, "I've heard of it, but like, I don't
Even I have my
care."
phone in dark
Okay,
mode
first of
though.
all, I
I need it
don't
dark.
fucking care about my phone is nothing other than the utility I use to call people, text people,
Mm-hmm.
and social media. I don't care about dark mode. Like, ooh,
Yeah.
it's darker. Congratulations.
No, I need dark mode because when it's too bright, my eyes start hurting. I'm like, can't
Okay,
stare at the screen that long.
okay, but to be fair, there is something that I think is common from my perspective where sometimes you could be so advanced in certain things, the simple things don't matter.
Yeah.
Like, I do IT so much, 8 hours a day for work. I don't care to get off work and jump on my computer and research, like, for educational purposes, if it's related to my job or career advancing, fine. But like not like, oh, I'm just gonna figure out how to do this. That
Yeah.
passion for like the simple things for me, I think is just kind of like I don't care about.
Hmm.
Like whenever they release a new iPhone and everybody's like, look what my phone can do. I can do this, and I'm just like, congratulations. You
Congratulations.
can change your emoji to look like this, and it's just like you're still gonna get your point across.
That's true.
Anyway,
But
go ahead.
I also think like going back to the passion thing, I wonder if a lot of people, especially our age and maybe a little bit older and younger, feel like we can't do this forever because we were never meant to work this long and this hard. Like the 40-hour work week, going to a job for 40 hours a week. 52 weeks a year, maybe 51 if you get a vacation. That is obviously going to burn you out. I think we didn't have IT in the olden days, I'm sure, but they had
Mm-hmm.
some form of that and technology and doing things. And we were meant to use our passions more as entertainment rather
Mm-hmm.
than our jobs. And so then we were like, okay, well, we need a job. So why not get a job that we're passionate about? But
Mm-hmm.
then that job is killing us. And so it makes us lose our passion. So I think
Mm-hmm.
that and the way we have to work now kind of go hand in hand. But then who wants to go into a career or do something that you're not passionate about? I mean, you sometimes people have to do it. Like, I'm sure not everybody wants to work at McDonald's. You do it because you need money and you have to live. And so then it makes it so that you don't even want to be there.
Agreed. Agreed. When I went, so while I've had my job, I worked at Ross part time.
Hmm.
And you remember, I don't know if I knew you when I were working at Ross. I don't think so.
No, but
But
I
I
worked in retail too.
yeah, but I worked in
Hated it.
retail, and I only chose it because I was getting burned out in my job. And then you're
Hmm.
like, well, if you're getting burned out, why would you get another job? Well, I got the other job because
Right.
Ross was like, okay, I made extra money, but on top of that, it was mindless. I stood there and I handed out, oh, go to
Yeah.
this dressing room. Let me hang these clothes there. When you go
Hmm.
from a job like IT where you're constantly troubleshooting and working
Using
with
your
certain,
mind.
like using your mind, I wanted something mindless. I wanted something where I could just stand there, tell me point here, do this, do that. And then I was like, and I was actually surprisingly happy about the fact
Hmm.
that when I was working at Ross, because I was just like, the problem was they just overworked me because it was in the
Yeah.
fall. They were staying open until 12 o'clock at
Thanksgiving,
night.
Christmas.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
wouldn't let me off, and I'm like, you do know you're not my main priority. Like, let's not get it
Yep.
twisted.
That's
Like,
what happened with me too. Like I started earlier in the year, and then by the time fall came, I was like, nope, I can't do this. They're like, oh yeah, somebody needs to work during Thanksgiving. I said it's not gonna be me.
and
And
I
then I
literally
quit
told
the
them,
week before.
I literally told them during Thanksgiving, I was like, months ahead, I was like, I'm going home for the week of Thanksgiving, or that Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. I'm
Hmm.
gonna be out of town. They still put me on the schedule. I literally, and every for like 3 months before Thanksgiving, every month the manager, I would tell her I can't work these days. She would put me down. Me being a hard worker, I was like, I'm gonna show up anyway because I don't want my reputation to be tarnished. They put
Yeah.
me on the schedule. I'm gonna follow through. Well, long story short, she put me on Thanksgiving week. She had me. I looked at the schedule. I was working Thanksgiving night. Well, no, I was working
Ooh.
the Black Friday. I was
Hmm.
working I was working Saturday and Sunday. I
Oh
called and said
God.
I was like, listen, I'm not coming. I'm gonna have to quit. I told her if she kept doing this, then I was gonna leave. Well, could you
Hmm.
come in? I was like, no.
Nope.
Just I'm sorry. You can't respect my boundaries, and you have to be like I was passionate about my main job. I used my second job to kind of regain some passion or some mindless passion to just do something.
Hmm.
And the fact that they didn't respect my boundaries after I'd spoken to you multiple weeks, multiple times, and they was putting college students schedules ahead of mine. And I was like,
Mm-hmm.
I get they're college students, but like I
Yeah.
told you when you hired me, I had a primary job. This was a
Mm-hmm.
secondary job. I will come in when needed. I will be dependable, but you have to respect my boundaries. She said she
Yeah.
understood for several months and she didn't. So I left. And I felt bad, but like I was like, I'm not gonna risk my main passion for a side passion or
Mm-hmm.
interest, if that makes sense.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. Definitely. So,
So let me ask you a question about
mm-hmm.
the next segue into the next topic about passion is you're
Mm-hmm.
married.
Yes.
So do you feel if you hadn't got married that well clearly you would probably still be in America, but do you think you would have still pursued like sign language, American Sign Language,
Mm-hmm.
and do you think you still would have gotten burnt out or do you feel like
Huh.
you would have stuck with it?
Hmm. That's an interesting question. Yeah. I think I would have stuck with it for a long time, but I don't think I would have felt satisfied. I think I would have had to find another avenue to
Mm-hmm.
feel happy. And I'm not sure what that would have been. Because, when you're starting out, usually like I'm gonna say like 70+% of the people who graduate, they go into the education system. And I love being a teacher. Like that was my other part-time job was working at a preschool. I love kids. And at first I thought, with sign language, I was like, oh, it's going to be great. I can work around kids all day. I already have that like repertoire. I like them. But when I'm in the classroom and all I can do is sit there and just translate, I can't have any input. I can't
Mm-hmm.
teach. I can't guide them in any way. Like you kind of have to be just an impartial person. You're just a bridge in between two people. I found I really did not like that. And so I think if I had to continue being in the educational system and I see so many people just not understanding the deaf child and just not making those proper accommodations and seeing the children being treated so unfairly, but I can try to advocate for them, but I'm just a person in the classroom I'm not the
Mm-hmm.
head person. I can't make any real changes. I can try to teach you and educate you, but if you're not willing to listen and learn, what's I going to do? And so I don't think I could have stayed in the educational system for long. And maybe I could have worked better with adults. But again, that's where my anxiety really does come in too. So I'm like, I didn't have anxiety with the kids, but then I couldn't do what I wanted. And then with the adults, I have so much anxiety, but I don't have to like being in a teaching environment, if that makes
Yeah.
sense. And so I think I would have definitely stuck with it for a while. And then if I didn't love it, I think I would have done something else. Maybe gotten a different, maybe not a different degree because I'm not ready even now to go back to school, but I think I would have done something else, found some other way to connect it, if that makes sense.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So, what do you feel in relation to your passion to like your marriage? Like, did you feel like when you met your husband and y'all started talking? I mean, clearly you could go through the honeymoon phases, and you know we've
Yeah.
talked about relationships, but like, do you feel like that passion from like career wise when you were doing sign language and stuff when you met your
Hmm.
husband, did that passion? Can you have two passions at once? Like, so your love for your
I,
husband and your passion in your
yeah.
relationship, can it hinder the passion for your career and
Hmm.
your advancement? Because a lot of times it's hard for, particularly for women. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes women forego their career choices and
Or a
their
man. Yeah.
careers for their man and their family. Do you feel like
Hmm.
that was some type of balancing act?
Yeah. I mean, I knew I mean, our love story was very quick in the beginning, but I knew that when we got married, a lot of people would judge me and question me about our marriage, like because they knew eventually at some point that would mean I would have to move to a different country. And I don't know that language or their sign language.
Mm-hmm.
And I I struggled for a long time to figure out how to balance it. Like, do I stay with him? I love him. He makes me so happy. I know in my heart that this is the person for me. Or do I stay and try to build this career and do this thing that I love and I'm passionate about? And so I had to kind of decide to give up one for the other, which I don't know. I don't know if I would recommend it to other people, but I think I'm happy in that decision. I know that I'm a person who can have many different passions at once. And so I'm not as nervous about it because I know I can channel these things into something else. Like I recently went to a preschool here, which is kindergarten, but it's not the American kindergarten, it's preschool.
Hmm.
And I applied for a job and I've been talking to people trying to, refresh that passion. And I think kids are a really great language model. And so I'm trying to find something else. I'm trying to find the good and the bad. And sometimes I do sit back like, man, I spent 4 years and $30,000 on an education that
Oh,
now I
don't
don't use, but
remember.
I love that I have that language. And I don't know, I keep telling myself like maybe it'll come back. There will be a reason for all of this. I don't know, maybe I'll have a kid that's deaf or I'll become deaf one day or
Oh
so. I'm
God.
not wishing that on anybody,
Okay.
but I don't know, like if something like that happens, it would be like divine intervention, I think.
Okay.
And I'll be
Well,
like, man, there was a reason for that.
I can respect that. Well, I mean, I'm glad you're able to feel like that you can have two passions. 'Cause
Hmm. I
some
mean,
people
I
can't.
think everyone has, well, I mean, I feel like relationship passion and like work and other hobby passions are different things. Like,
Hmm.
and they feel different, don't they? I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
you get that excitement with both and that fun, fuzzy feeling, but I mean, passion with romance usually ends up in sex. So
I mean, you can
usually,
have sex with your job if you
I
sleep your way
think
to
you
the
would go to
top.
jail. Oh, not with my job. I work with kids. But there had to be some passion to get those kids here. So,
Yeah. I don't know from my perspective how I feel about. I feel. I feel like personally, when I was in my younger years, and I
hmm
would get in relationships, like when I was in college, my first degree, I was getting my first degree. I
hmm
was I met this guy and
hmm
he had dreads and he was tall and he had like
hmm
he played I think he ran track in high school, so he had like really big legs. I don't know why that's a thing for me. But like having nice
Mine is
legs.
arms.
Legs and body is what my thing. So he had
Mm-mm.
really nice he was very attractive to me at the time, not anymore. Um I was delusional. So he was very attractive and I was in school and I was doing stupid stuff. Like I was living in my apartment, he was living in his apartment, we didn't live together. And I was like giving him money to like help him out.
hmm
And I was like let him drop me off at work and take my car. Like, first of all, stop, stop.
I didn't say anything.
That was old me. That is not me right now. I was very dumb and
And
naive and like
impressionable, yeah.
yeah, I was very much trying to be like, okay, I can support you, but this
hmm
person had no drive. He just smoked weed all day.
Oh yeah,
He did, and he,
we've been there.
yeah, yeah, like he didn't have any drive. He didn't have any passions. He didn't know what he wanted to do. And I can respect
Hmm
people that don't know where they want to go in life or where they want to go. Like they'll
Right.
be like, I can't find my passion. I don't know what my passion was. So I was like, I wanted to be that support for him to figure out what his passion was.
Yeah.
But then in the end, I end up losing focus on myself because I was so busy trying to help him
hmm
remain stable while paying my bills while also doing my
Paying for him
job
to
and
eat
going to
and
school. Like I was overwhelmed.
Mhm. Yeah,
But I mean,
got
so
burnt out.
yeah, I got burnt out. But I feel like for people like you, I can only speak for myself. But it seems like you're very good at managing two things at once. And they are two different feelings. I agree. They're separate
Hmm
entities, but they can overlap. And
Yeah.
sometimes people let work, their passion for work, super like their passion for work take over their passion for their significant other, and then vice versa.
Hmm.
They're like, oh, I love this person so much, I don't really
I'm
care
gonna
about
throw
my job
everything
that
to the
much.
wind.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I've been in both of those positions. So I
Yeah,
know what it's like.
yeah. And I mean, I have dated people who haven't had that passion, and that was always the point of contention with us. Like, I was like, oh, I don't know if I can be with you because long term, what do you want to do? What is the
Mm-hmm.
end goal here? And now I look back, I was like, dang, I was a little judgmental, but I'm kind of glad I stuck to my guns because even now I look at those people, I can look them up and they still searching for themselves. And I would have been what, 6, 7, 8 years waiting for them to figure out what they wanted to do.
And that's why it's
And that's wasting
important.
my time.
Yeah, and that's why it's important that when you talk to somebody and pursue somebody in a relationship,
Hmm.
that y'all have those deep conversations about passions and where you want to go and where you want to be,
Hmm.
and you keep that communication line open. So if a passion changes or a person is not happy about something, like
Yeah,
I tell people, I well with Justin, I tell him all the time, like if you're not happy with your job, which he hasn't said right out, but he gets stressed out sometimes, and I'm like, if you're not happy with your job, leave.
yeah,
You know, if you're not happy with where you are, don't be
change it.
scared. Yeah, don't be scared to be like,
Hmm.
well, what else would I do? Where else can I go? How can I do this? That doesn't matter because guess what? You will fail more times if you don't. You're guaranteed to fail if you don't try at all.
Yes.
And if you just sit somewhere because you're scared that, oh, I've a perfect example. I won't say this person's name. I know someone who makes six figures right now,
Hmm.
really, really good money. They have a family and everything, but they're so scared to leave that job because they would have to start from ground zero that
Yeah.
they're just like, well, I've I've developed this life where I have to make this kind of money to support it. If I start over pursuing any other passion, then I'm just like I got to start from zero, and my life doesn't accommodate it because I have all these
Hmm.
expensive bills or this mortgage or these car payments. And it's just like,
Right.
okay, I can understand that, but you never want to box yourself in a place where you are in a position like that.
And if you think about it, like this also can go back into relationships and in jobs. You're so like, I don't want to give up on this thing because I've invested so much time, money, effort, and it'll feel like it's a waste. But think about if you stay and you're wasting more time,
Mm-hmm.
more money, more effort, you have to at some point say, okay, I'm done. You have to cut it off, or else what was the point?
Yeah, you'll
You're
lose yourself.
you're draining yourself, and then that goes back to the burnout. Like Armin, he was with this company for 7 years. Terrible, awful place. And he just knew he needed to leave, but he was uncertain. And then we would have to come back here. And that it was what ended up happening because he just got to a breaking point. But that was so bad for his mental health, and staying in those situations for years and years longer than it needed to be. I think it did more damage than good. I mean, it was great that he met me and had the opportunity to
Oh
go
my
to
god.
America, but I'm like, I wish that he could get that time back. And the thing about time is that you can never get it back. It just keeps going forward.
And that's why I always tell people it's important. Well, I tell my nephews, I don't say people because I talk to my nephews and my nieces more about life and stuff than I do normal people.
Right, you got to be
But
the guiding light.
but that's why I told him I was just like, you need to be true to yourself. When people say true to yourself, it doesn't mean be selfish. It doesn't mean oh me. It means be true to your emotions and what you feel. If you have a passion for something, you want to pursue it, whether that's a relationship and whether it's a job or whether it's a hobby. Pursue those things as long as the passion is there. But when the passion starts to die, or when you feel like it's time to exit and you're losing yourself, like you look in the mirror and you're like, I don't know how I became this person. I don't like who I am. That's when you need to look and say, is my passion dying? Am I losing interest? And like you said, it's okay to take a step back and say, I need to exit left. Even if I have to start
Hmm.
over from ground zero, do you want to stay and then become someone you don't recognize and you don't love? Or do you want to leave, start over, and work your way up to be the person that you want to be and be happy?
Hmm.
Because honestly, for me, I feel like happiness is what I pursue.
Yeah.
And it's crazy. I'm an emotional person. I know I'm emotional. I'm very emotional and I can't shake it. I've tried to just be this emotionless person, but every time my emotions come up, I can't fight them.
Mm-hmm.
So I just know that like when I get burnt out of something or when I meet somebody and I have a bad vibe about them, then I'm just like, I'm not gonna entertain it because I know like I'm going to be miserable and I can't hide my face. I can't hide my expressions. I can't hide my dislike or disdain for something when I have no
Yeah.
passion for it.
That's
And
true.
that's
That's
why
why
I just gotta
COVID was
back
so
out.
good. Those face masks, ooh, I could do everything but roll my eyes. The faces I was making under that mask. It was so helpful when I had to put it back. I was like, oh shit, I have to stop making these kind of faces. Everyone can read my emotions.
People tell me all the time, "Oh, Sherman, you can't hide your emotions. Like your face tells everything." And I'm just like, why would I want it to do anything other?
Right. I
I mean,
mean,
if I'm in sales or marketing, fine.
exactly.
I
You
can,
need that.
I need that. But like, if I'm dealing with people, that's why I'm not on reality TV and I'm not a celebrity. Because I'd be canceled by now. I'll just
Oh no, me
constantly speak
too.
my mind. So, but apart from that, part of passion and, I think that's important. I think passion and knowing who you are and what you
Hmm.
want is very important for people to pursue and look after. And sometimes you have to take a step back, eliminate other people's wants and needs for you and those expectations that set on you, even by your parents, and just look inward.
That's a big
And
one.
a lot of things that people do is they when they feel a certain way, they go out to other people and they give their opinions and let that sway
Hmm.
how they feel and what they do. But sometimes you need to take
Yeah.
a moment and look deep inside yourself. I'm not talking about running
Hmm.
to no religion. I'm not talking about running to no therapist. I'm talking about take a moment, if you can, write down where you are, where you want to go. Are you with the person that's going to get you where you want to be? Because love is great, but I'm a firm believer that it takes more than love in a relationship to make it
Oh, it
work.
does. Like everyone's like, oh, if we just have love, we'll be okay. I've never believed that. I think it takes a lot more. One, love can grow, it can diminish. You got to work on it. And
Mm-hmm.
that's where the passion comes in. You got to have that like drive.
Yeah,
And love is not enough in a relationship. You need more. You need somebody who cares about you, who is selfless when they're thinking about you. I'm not saying in general, because
mm-hmm.
I think that's too much if everyone's too selfish, but I'm a selfish person. But just thinking someone who puts your needs above their own or on an equal pedestal.
I agree, and I think that's important to have all of those things. And I will say that we have talked about passion a lot, and I just want to know, as a question for you, because I'm curious about this, if you could go back, would you choose a different passion to show interest in career wise, or would you stick with where you are?
I Yeah, I think I don't know. That's really hard because I loved learning the language. So I'm like, a part of me is like, oh yeah, I could just go back and do something else and then take the easier sign language classes. But then I love how much I know. So
Mm,
I don't know what I would go back and do. Like that was my big question when I was going to college. Or like, pick a major. I'm like, I don't like any of this. I just want something that makes me money.
that makes sense. I can agree with
I
that.
don't know. Maybe I would just take more classes, do more things. Like now I think back and I'm like, man, it would have been cool to do a few more career things. Like I would love to have tried to do bartending or I don't know, what's another job? I'm
Bartending
like, I
is a
just
universal skill though. Like
it
everyone drinks, so you
is.
can use it in any
I'm like, I
country.
think it would be so helpful, even just for me personally.
Oh my god.
But I can still do it. So like I don't feel like, oh man, my life is over. I can't do anything. I have so much time. I think if I wanted to learn something else, I can go back to school and do that.
Okay.
Online school, in person.
All right. Well, I mean, I completely can agree with you. I don't think I would do anything else. I loved IT when I was in school. I love my
Hmm.
classes. I love the
I don't know how.
programming, routers and switches, programming those, learning
Oh
about
God.
mesh routers, learning about
You
all of
just
this
tell him
stuff.
to turn it on and off, right? That's it.
Really, that is not. Oh my God, that is not the base of my job. People do not call me, and I'm just like, oh, have you tried turning it off and on? Have you unplugged it? People look at
That's what they
IT.
tell me every time I call IT.
Well, I don't know what department you call in. You must be calling entry level, tier one IT. I don't.
Probably.
I used to do tier one. I'm a little bit more. The company I work for is
Hmm.
like a big corporate company, like
Yeah.
Fortune 500. So
So
we have a lot of employees and we do a lot of stuff. So it's not just did you unplug it? Did you reboot
that would
your
always
router?
piss me off. Like, yes, of course, I would not be calling you if I hadn't already done those
But I
things.
do get those calls sometimes. Sometimes I get
Oh,
somebody that'll call in and be like, "Oh, my internet isn't working," and I was like, "I don't know. Call your internet service provider. It's not my fucking problem. You're working from home. That like my our company doesn't pay for your internet, so call your internet service provider." Ooh,
mm-hmm.
sorry, I hit a microphone. But
It's okay.
anyway,
Getting heated.
yeah, I'm reliving phone calls from back in my earlier years. It's making me angry. So let
I
me
get
ask
that.
you. We're not going to do any more questions because it has been almost an hour now. I think since we started, but I think you wanted to bring up voting.
Yes,
A lot
another
has
passion
happened.
of mine is the state of America, which I think should be every American's passion, truly. If you are eligible and able to vote, you please, please, please have to go out and vote. It is so important this year. It's important every single election and not just for the presidency. It's important the state and local levels too. But now with the presidential election coming up in November, I need everybody to go out, make sure that they are registered. You need to check online that your registration is active. I don't know if you have done that, but I
I
have checked
have.
on every single member in my family and said, y'all need to make sure that y'all are able and registered to vote. I, even being overseas, registered myself to do an absentee ballot because I mean, I don't know if we will ever move back to America, but on the slight chance, I want it to still be there when we
Yeah.
are able to. So,
Yeah.
and there's a lot at stake this election term.
I am registered to vote. I checked on my status. I voted last election for the presidency
Good.
and the local government too. Some of those people I had to
Mm-hmm.
do my research. If you're not
Mm-hmm.
passionate about the election, or I have friends that are like, I'm not going to vote because I don't like either party, and I was like,
Right.
I don't comment,
That's not a reason.
but that's not a
Oh,
good reason for me.
yeah.
That's not a good
For
reason for
me,
me.
yeah. I was like, but I try not to comment, and I'm not doing it anymore. But for a minute there, I'm like, no, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, there's so much at stake. But if you don't I'm not, I don't have the energy to try to fight people on why they need to be voting.
Is your
I'm just going
right?
to tell you, you know what's happening. We all know what's happening. If you are black, if you are gay, if you are a woman, your your life is at stake kind of basically.
Mm-hmm. Your rights are on the line. Things that you didn't know, and I don't usually talk about politics outside of like
Mhm.
my close friends and family, but I will say that I will co-sign that people do need to go out and vote, regardless of whether
Mhm.
you vote for one party or the other. Please
Mhm.
educate yourself on what their stance is and whether you align with them. You don't even have to have a passion for it because that is the topic, but
Yes.
just do entry level. See what people's stances are. Watch a few debates, and now we have a
Mhm.
new candidate. Last time we talked, Biden was still in the race. He's no
Yeah.
longer a candidate. He stepped down, and now Camilla Harris is running for president and her VP.
Mhm.
So if you want, go do some research, look at the backgrounds, look at both parties, figure out which one
Mhm.
represents you most. I'm not going to bash one party over the other, even though I have in previous podcasts.
Mhm.
Um, I will say, I will say this: when I was, because I'm older, when I was growing up, there was a level of respect between both parties, whether you were Democrat, liberal, conservative, whatever you want to identify as or you lean towards. there was there so in America there are two sides. There's the Republican Party and there's the Democrat Party, and then there's the
Hmm.
other individuals who can run,
That
but
never has won
yeah,
since
never
the
won.
first president
Yes, never won.
ever.
So all I'm gonna say is the way I feel is if you don't agree with anything either party has to say, I would just say pick the one that you lean more towards. I
Yeah.
don't
I
agree.
mean,
I don't agree with. Okay, so
smear
what I was getting
campaigns
at.
and
So I'm
hmm
sorry. What I was getting at because I got off track. My brain went somewhere else. But what I was saying was the parties used to have mutual respect for each other.
hmm
Now it seems like if you're a liberal or if you're a conservative or if you're a Republican or Democrat, it's like you automatically have to hate the other side. And I'm like, that's
hmm
not the case. You don't have to completely hate someone. What you can do is disagree on certain stances and still respect the fact that these people are fighting for what they think is right. They might be
yeah.
wrong, but you don't go out your way to hate them or show, some type of like, I don't know. Sometimes people write people off just because of the party they represent. I will say the Republican Party has a lot of strong views that I do not agree with. Does it
Hmm.
make me want to hate them? Yes, it does. But I don't hate people. I just disagree with the things. And I know the things that the Republican Party represents right now is making us go back as a country as
Yeah.
opposed to progressing forward. Now, the people that say make America great again, the only question I have for you is at what point in our history was America great for
For
someone of
everyone.
my, well, yeah, for everyone, but for me as a gay black man who's part Native American, like what do you like when was the nation great for me and why would I still vote for a party that seems to be trying to revert back to an America that limited people like me?
Exactly.
I cannot and I will not support that, but I
Yeah.
won't hate those people. I just question those people and what they want for the minorities in America.
Hmm.
Because if you're the majority and you're going with the Republican Party and the things that they're trying to go back on, whether it's women's rights, whether it's abortion, whether it's gay rights and gay marriage, whether it's diversity inclusion, like do your history, do your research. Diversity and inclusion for minorities, there was a reason why that was implemented, and it was because of the racism in corporate
Yep.
America at the time and other even in school systems that were like taking applicants. They didn't have a minimum
Hmm.
quota to meet, so they didn't care about even involving minorities into their you know schools or corporate companies.
Hmm.
And when you allow places that say, oh, well, I want to go with people that are more like me in this company, then you foster a mindset that becomes racist and that becomes like, well, why do we want those people in stereotypes? So diversity inclusion is what kind of force companies and schools to be like, hey, we have to have these people here
Right.
against their will, which is sad because you shouldn't want to force people to do something, and we need to weed out those people that are in high positions that are racist or discriminating against
Hmm.
people, whether you're a woman, trans, gay, bi, whatever it is. Like
Yeah.
the world is changing, and we need to get to a place where we respect that. Just because something isn't, you don't understand something, doesn't mean it's bad, especially if it's not taking away your rights.
Right.
So
And I
vote.
think, yeah. And I want to say on top of that too, if you are a woman or you have a mother, which everyone came from a woman, you need to be voting to protect their rights, even if you don't agree with the whole abortion of it all. And I understand that, but women should still have that option. You should have bodily autonomy, and that should not be used as a pawn in this big game. It is so important for women to have proper health care, especially in the Black community where Black women are have such a high mortality rate when it comes to giving birth. We are so much more likely to die during labor than any other race because of negligence, because of improper health care, and taking away our rights to abortion slash any kind of female medical care is going to make that so much worse.
Mm, I agree completely. But, on that note, educate yourself, vote, find your
Hmm.
passion in life and pursue it, whether that's
Hmm.
relationship, whether that's career wise. Find yourself and be happy with wherever that takes you. And if you're going to do
Yeah.
something, commit to it. That's what I always say. If it doesn't work
Hmm.
out, change it. Do something
Yep.
else. What's the worst that could happen? Time?
Got to
Like,
start over.
yeah, start over. Or do you stay where you are, be miserable, and then it's too late to start over because you're 60 years old on your deathbed? Hopefully, you're not dying at 60. But thank you guys for listening to this podcast on passion, and make sure you vote. And we want to thank you for listening. We're sorry that
Yes.
we're behind. It's partly my fault, partly Amaya's
And
fault.
mine too.
Oh no, I'm gonna put you in there. Don't think I'm gonna forget about you.
Okay, that's fair.
But thank you for listening, and hopefully you'll see
Yes.
this video online.
Yes. And vote, vote, vote.
Vote. Bye.
Bye.